This is the ultimate guide to student debt relief. We all know the Supreme Court struck down Biden's sweeping student debt relief program, but there's another program called SAVE, or SAVE, that's flying mostly under the radar. It goes into effect in 2024 and has the potential to reduce your student loan payments to zero. Go to Google and type in studentaid.gov SAVE and click this link. It takes you to this website where you get a ton of information from what you need to know to how much will you pay each month, and some other major changes. The old income-based student debt relief program sucked for a few different reasons. First of all, it was based on 10% of your discretionary income. So how's your discretionary income calculated? You take your income minus the poverty line threshold, which is 150% of the poverty line, gives you your total discretionary income. And of that, the government says, we think you can afford to pay 10% toward your student loans. In order for your debt to be forgiven, you had to make payments for 20 years straight, which comes out to 240 payments. And if you missed a payment, you could get booted from the program and have to reapply. A lot of borrowers would get into this goofy negative amortization situation where they'd make the required payment. So in this situation, it's $109, but the interest is $125. So the difference would actually get tacked onto the loan balance. So over time, as they're making their payments timely, their loan balance is actually increasing. According to the Wall Street Journal, only about 11% of people would get to the 20-year mark where their loans would be forgiven. So clearly, the system is not working. All right, so this is why the new plan is amazing. We'll do two different scenarios. One where the person's making $35K a year, and the other where the person's making $50K a year. So here's the person making $35K. Under the new plan, the poverty line exemption goes up to 225%. So as you can see, the poverty line threshold goes up, discretionary income goes down, and now the person's left with a minimum monthly payment of $18. Under the new plan, discretionary income actually gets reduced by half. So now it goes from 10% to 5%. So this person who's making 35 grand a year only has to make a $9 payment each month. And on top of that, this plan solves that negative amortization situation we were talking about. So it keeps the balance at the original loan balance for the duration of the loan. So $9 a month seems like a pretty good deal. Okay, now let's do the scenario of the person making $50,000 a year. So I updated all the numbers to go back to the original plan, and now this person's making $50,000 a year. You can see the total discretionary income is $28,000. Discretionary income percentage is 10%, so they have to make a $234 monthly payment. This person is not in that negative amortization situation, but $234 a month on a $50,000 salary is a lot to deal with. So let's update the poverty line exemption to 225% and reduce discretionary income percentage down to 5%. This borrower only has to put $72 a month toward their student loans, and they also don't have to deal with the negative amortization situation. Another huge benefit with this plan is previously you had to make payments for 20 years straight. Now the payments are based on your loan amount. So if your loan amount is $12,000, you only have to make payments for 10 years. And if it's $13,000, you have to make payments for 11 years, so on and so forth. So let's go back to the website and see how the math checks out. If you scroll to the bottom here, it says, what are the SAVE plan benefits going into effect next year, July 2024? In the very first bullet, says payments on undergrad loans will be cut in half, reduced from 10% to 5% of income above 225% of the poverty line. Right now, all of these calculations they're doing is based on the 10%, but in July, they'll be based on the 5%. So mine are based on the 5%. If we go back here and we put in 10%, the minimum monthly payment for somebody who's single goes up to $143 a month. And if we go to this table, we can see someone who's single with $50,000 of income has to pay $143 a month. So again, my numbers are based on what's going into effect in July of 2024. Even if you had enough money to pay off all your student loans today, I'd probably advise against it. Like if you're making $50,000 a year and your student loan payments are going to go down to $72 a month, that's a steal. One of the benefits is making these payments over time, every single month consistently, will increase your credit score and make it easier to get a better loan if you ever decide to buy a house. Another benefit is you get a tax deduction when you make student loan payments. And the last benefit is if you do have extra money sitting in the bank, instead of just giving it to the student loan provider, you could invest it in the stock market and watch it grow.